Today, it's the National Football League. It's a special New Year's Day edition of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the Miami Dolphins taking on the Kansas City Chiefs.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. The excitement brewing here in South Florida. As a moment ago, the Dolphins starters were introduced to this home crowd. They're fired up as well as they get set to match up with the Kansas City Chiefs. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Taking it about the 1. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. So here come the Chiefs for their opening drive. And we get a glance here at their leader, the man who will be calling the plays under center.
And this could be a whole lot of fun because if his game plan goes into effect early, we're going to see some shots downfield, aren't we? What did he talk to us about? Stretching the field. Wants to open things up for not just his receivers, but for anything underneath.
Well, that was the theme, the front page of the sports section. What did the columnist write? Possible air raid. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the coaches view that, right? Who gave what the game plan? I think it's pretty obvious, though. That'll help them win.
Yeah, boy, it is tough to bring him down that time. He surges forward. He's going to get a full 6 out of that. Second down. The numbers for him from a week ago, a boatload of carries, 86 yards.
And he's hoping to have the same type of game, but he's going up against the #1 defense in the league, and they're very good at fitting the run. So now you've got to think offensive strategy, maybe a little more play action, and try and find some people open downfield.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. From the shotgun, they run with Smith. And once again, the Dolphin defense holds firm as they'll stop him behind the line of scrimmage. 3rd down, now even tougher. 3rd and 13 after that loss of a yard.
I thought he did a nice job there setting an edge and make sure nothing could get to the outside. But he decided that wasn't enough for him. Worked his way back inside and made the tackle on the ball carrier.
And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone, and there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Taking it about the 36. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Dolphins will begin this drive in great field position, 1st and 10. So now you've got their offense coming out for the first time with great initial field position. And their quarterback, well, everyone knows he's got height, standing at 6'6".
And he just continues to throw touchdown pass after touchdown pass, leading the league here down the final stretch of the year. Guys will say that the numbers and the rankings, they don't matter to him very much, but I don't know how much I actually believe that. Sure, he's team first, but I think everyone would like to see him finish #1, including himself.
And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside, and so many times defenses say, okay, we've got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
And they didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal. He's hit pay dirt a lot this year, but not that time.
Yeah, I'm tracking right there with you. You're exactly right. He's found the end zone plenty of times. No way I can find any fault with the call. He may not have scored there, but of course you're going to give it to him.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll work his way closer to the goal line as he's got 5 down to the 3.
And Brad, they went to a nickel defense, and that's a surprise this close to the goal line, because ordinarily you use the back end of the end zone, the sidelines as extra defenders, and you want bigger people on the field to try and help against the run.
They'll run here on 3rd and goal. And he is in. Touchdown, Miami. A great effort there with touchdown number 23 here on the year. And the Dolphins are going to take a first-quarter lead. A good hold of these wet conditions. The point after is up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Taken at about the 1. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. Kansas City taking the field for their 2nd drive. You know, in our research packet this week, prepping for the game, so many articles from the local beat writer about the offensive struggles of this team and what will they do this offseason. What do you think they'll do?
Well, number one, they'll turn to their self-scouting report. And every team that's any good does this. They have outside groups. Check out their team, scout them, and tell you who can play, who can't play, and reasons why. Some of it may just be health. They have to get some guys healthy and back out on the field. But overall, evaluate this squad and make the changes that you need to.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. A give to Smith out of the gun. And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack. I was waiting for them to get there first because the momentum they carry from last week, unbelievable. They had a snowman, 8 sacks.
You were surprised that it took this long, and this isn't that long, truthfully. But here's the thing. If you've seen that on tape, your offensive line is going to have to ask for help. Tight end has to stay in. If you use a fullback, keep him in. Make sure you have extra people to try and keep your quarterback upright. Didn't work on that play.
It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. And he'll give it here to his running back. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
So, Charles, for this offense, we've been talking all year about how difficult it would be to run the table. And you gave me your chances early in the year. You thought maybe 25%. A few weeks ago, you thought closer to 50, but not quite 50. Now, here they are, 15-0. This is happening, isn't it?
I think it is, Brandon, because I do believe this team is too invested, too well coached to fall asleep at the switch now. And I think it ultimately benefits them to stay engaged all the way through the season, because make it to the finish line, then they get the open week to refresh and re-energize. But if you get off the gas now, that can really hurt you come playoff time. Football's such a game of tendencies, down in distance, and on 3rd and inches, 3rd and 1, you're thinking, man, the fullback's probably going to get the ball. But when you get to 3rd and 2, most of the time that's either the running back or a pass play. So that's a nice tendency breaker by the offensive team there. Hand it to their big guy to pick up a first down.
These are his numbers from last week's contest. 11 carries, 57 yards, and a touchdown as well.
And they've got a nice scheme going right now, and they run the football pretty well. In fact, I was talking with him on the field before the game, and he said he's starting to hear from the guys ahead of him on the rushing yardage total, and they want to know if he's going to jump up there and join them at the top of the list.
They follow up the gain of 5 by only getting 1 there on 2nd down.
This defense for the Chiefs, they were terrific last week in the win over Denver.
Yeah, and what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down, and they're playing with extreme confidence.
And to give this time to the tailback. Pushing his way through. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to ball his way down to about the 1-yard line. Give him 9 yards on the carry there, a good run. And now 2nd and goal. That's what they wanted out of that first down play. Run it down there. Now they're knocking on the door.
The only thing that would have been better was getting it in, and now they can do whatever they want because they've got confidence on their side. Line up quickly and go, or savor it a little bit.
And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. Taking it in from a yard out.
And the Dolphins have taken a 13-0 first quarter lead.
There's not much that's perfect in football, but that's about as close to it as you're going to get. Score, force a punt, score again.
And both drives were impressive. The opening drive was, that last one was. Now on the other side, though, what's your psyche? You're really behind the 8 ball.
You got to make sure you just hold in there. Survive the early storm, relax a little bit, and try and get back to your game plan. It's way too early for panic.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. Throwing to start the drive. James. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
James to throw on 2nd down. Complete here. It's Hyde. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
To throw is James from the gun on 3rd down. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line.
Why do we have so many
can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field, because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
A first down carry for Smith, and he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. Second down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front, because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far, offensively or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere, but it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And they, on paper, Charles, no doubt they have the edge in this one. They are sitting with the AFC elite, and on the other side, they're down toward the bottom of the AFC. But you know what they say, especially at this point in the season, watch out for a trap game.
And in doing so, I would take my game plan and condense it. I would rely on my fundamentals, the fact that my players are probably just better, and not try and do too much, do just enough to win the game. And on the other side of the field, I'm doing everything. Every trick play I can think of, every different formation, you name it, I'm throwing it at them in order to try and get the upset win.
Now a handoff here to his running back. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the first. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Now that was a big-time play by the defense. They as well knew where the first down line was, and they didn't let them get anywhere near it.
Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. Surprised at all that they went with a fullback there?
Not at all, because it harkened back to the days where we watched these games almost in black and white, right? The stocky guy, the strong guy, the powerful guy with leg drive, give him the football, and even if the blocking isn't perfect, he has the ability to scatter bodies and move people enough to pick up first downs. That's what we just saw right there. This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. And to give this time to the tailback. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. 48 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times.
Partner, in our years together, we've never really run into a player that's admitted a doubt or a lack of confidence, right? But right now, I'm just wondering about that interior line, because on defense, they're starting to get manhandled at the point of attack. Do they have it in them to figure a way to reverse the tide? Because right now, they're running the ball at will.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's going to get this inside the 30.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. Eventually wrangled down before reaching the 20, but a strong run. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Second and 4.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Lots of praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
They scored touchdowns on drives 1 and 2, and now they're trying to make it a perfect 3 for 3 to start.
Now a handoff here to his running back, and he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. He'll get 6 on the ground there, and it'll be 2nd and goal coming up.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. So they'll let the fullback try and take him home. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Dolphins add on to their lead. Point after, right down the middle. And it's now 21-0. So that one a long 11-play drive. And it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line.
So the Chiefs offense heads out. There's a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
Hey, you're impressed, aren't you?
I am impressed. That means 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games? Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadrupled. And that's where we are right now to see who can make their last run, their last push to get into the playoffs.
He's going to look deep down the field. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
They've had multiple opportunities on offense and still haven't scored any points. Felt like they wanted to loosen things up, throw it downfield, and see if maybe they could get a big play and a quick strike.
Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. The Chiefs on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This time it's 3rd and 3. They'll try and run for it with Smith. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. Defensively, they rally the troops to force 4th down after that 7-yard pickup back on 1st.
This defense is really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
Here's the Chiefs punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And taken right at the 35. A great return there of 22 yards. And it'll be Dolphin football. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's over 40 yards here in the 2nd quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, You've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals.
The 71 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
And this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Hands it off out of the gun.
And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. He's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
This offense continues to be a hot knife through butter. 3 drives, 3 scores, and knocking on the door again on drive number 4.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. It's a good pickup of 7 yards, and now they're looking at 2nd and goal.
Some good strong running right there. Some power and some explosiveness just about got him into the end zone.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. And they'll turn to the power game to try to get in. And he takes it into the end zone for the Dolphin touchdown. It's the fullback on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Dolphins continue to pull away here in this first half. Extra point attempt here still to come. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. A drive there of just 4 plays, and it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. He's had a good chunk of carries. Problem is for very little success. I don't want to put it all on his shoulders, but that's a big reason they're losing right now.
Have to be very careful that he doesn't start pointing fingers. Offensive line obviously trying. The defense has done a nice job against him today. When it's all said and done, it's all about the guy in the mirror. He has to get it done better going forward.
See if he can look and do some soul searching now. What makes a draw play like that successful?
Well, we did see where he made the first wave miss, and that was a big part of it. But a lot of it is just being actors back there, making the defense think it's going to be a pass.
James now throwing on first down. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
So much about defending the pass is being able to be right there at the moment the ball gets to the receiver, and he was right in his hip pocket, helping force that incompletion.
On 2nd down, here's Smith. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
They just keep trying, but so far, finding no room for him to run.
None whatsoever. In fact, you run the numbers. He's under 3 yards a carry at the moment.
From the gun on 3rd down, James. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off near the 42. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown. Remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
It shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receiver. after that one and took it all the way.
Now the try here for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. Here again comes the captain of this offense leading his crew back out there now. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted.
Picked off at the 40, and they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And he's taken down inside the 30.
60 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
And down inside the 15, shy of the 10.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And strong running there as he's inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. Gets a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. Now another timeout called for by the offense as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime.
Facing a 2nd and 6 from the 8.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A great effort there. With touchdown number 27, that ties Priest-Holmes for the 3rd most in a single year.
And the Dolphins have taken a 6-touchdown lead.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead will swell by 1 more. 5 plays there on that drive. And the capper that put it in the end zone, a run of 8 yards. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return.
Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. He and his team, they have had a rough go of it here in this first half. Maybe time for him to put his foot down here in the second quarter.
Put his foot down and become a little more accurate throwing the football. He's already thrown 2 interceptions. He's trying to find a way to equal things out. And instead of it going to the opponents, get it to his own receivers and find the end zone.
Yeah, you mentioned those 2 picks. No touchdown passes yet either. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. The Chiefs now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. This time they'll just keep this on the ground. And he's going to have a first down, but not sure it'll matter as the clock will continue to run. Now another timeout called for by the offense as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1. Here's James on 1st and 10. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17 as we send you up to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll begin our trip around the NFL with an interesting one right off the bat. And that game tied at 7 in the second quarter. From there, we're off to check out another game. And they've got the lead in their ball game over the visiting Carolina Panthers. The Ravens seem to be on their way to what would be a good victory. Finally, we finish at MetLife Stadium to see what's going on with the Jets. And that one all tied. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. Fielded just outside the goal line. And able to break this out all the way to the 38-yard line. Great return. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. Now, the first half definitely went their way, and this would seem to be a great opportunity to kind of put this game a little closer out of reach with a score here.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful opportunity for them because if they can add 7 more to their lead before the other guys even see the football, that could be the decisive blow in this game. I think that's how they're eyeing it. That's how they're approaching it.
They'll start the third quarter here on the ground. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. 58 yards on the ground for him so far.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
From the gun, he'll hand this off.
And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging into our second half blowout material.
A handoff as they run the counter play. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Gonna give this time to the tailback. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down, keep the sticks moving.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Check 50, check 50. Check 24, check 24.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
Ahead of the chains now, 2nd and 2. A handoff as they run the counter play. And bulldozing his way through. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. A great play there. With his 28th touchdown, drawing level with Sean Alexander for the 2nd most in a single year. And the Dolphins take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Now the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. That time a 6-play drive. And a long run there in the end to top it off. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Fielded just outside the goal line. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. So here's the Chiefs offense ready for their first reps in half number 2. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up.
Yeah.
Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think he might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. Now James on 1st down. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off right around the 43. And he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line. And right about now, you start to think, and maybe they're starting to think, gosh, maybe points aren't going to happen for us in this game.
Well, it's a thought that is worth having because so far in this game, this defense has not just had the upper hand. They've appeared to be a step ahead, maybe even 2 steps to everything they've done. They've had an answer for everything this offense has thrown at them.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. It's been a remarkable day at the office for him running the football. Those yards just continue to pile well past 100.
And how about more than double-digit carries in the 2nd half alone? That's what you want as a runner because you've got to prove to your offensive line that you're going to be as tough as they are. They don't rotate in and out on every play. Running backs often do, so those who can stay out there with their offensive linemen, those are the guys they really value.
And to give this time to the tailback. And a short gain here down to the 22. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Now a handoff here to his running back. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. And defensively going with a dime set, 6 DBs on 3rd and 4. And he'll give it here to his running back. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. It's a pickup of 3, but it brings up what will be an interesting 4th and 1.
So many things go into making a good play on defense. In this situation, just not being blown out of the way was a big start, and then a nice tackle to finish things off.
This offense converted once on 4th down earlier. Now they're out there again to try once more. They've gone to their fullback quite a bit. He'll get it again.
And the Dolphins are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
I don't care what he's listed in the program. Fullback, running back, tailback, it doesn't matter. He ran that play like a fullback. Just like the old days when we saw the fullback dive. How about him picking that one up?
Oh, they needed a yard on 4th down. That's what he's there for, right?
Exactly. Line him up, short yardage situation, and say, here it is, big man. Go get it.
Check, 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 check. Out, 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 out. Kill, kill, kill. Turn up. Kill, kill.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he maneuvers his way down to the 3-yard line. It'll be a gain of 5 there as they move closer. It's 2nd and goal.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown,
You want 2.
You're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got 1, but was denied as he tried to get the 2nd one.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal.
Let him know, let him know. Check 3, check 3, check 3. On your team.
They'll try to run this one in. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Safe, safe, safe.
And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he'll get him a bit closer as he's down to the 2-yard line. Only a yard there, so it brings up 4th and goal.
Well, big man with ball met bigger man on the other side of the line. A really nice play for the defense.
Tight down. There you go. Back.
They'll try and run for it. And he is in. Touchdown, Miami. A great effort there. With touchdown number 29, too short of LaDainian Tomlinson's all-time record 31. And the Dolphins have got it on cruise control. Extra point right down the middle. And that will extend this big lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
This fielded right at the goal line. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
And now here comes Kansas City.
And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
James looking to throw on 2nd down.
I know I spent a lot of time talking about how tight ends in a lot of cases now are pumped up wide receivers, but they're still big people. He used that frame right there to absorb a really big hit on him and held on to the ball.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them. That was a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
On 3rd down, Gary, and he can only get this to the 42-yard line, and that is not near enough. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down. Here's the Chiefs punter now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. 7 yards on the return after a punt of 39. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. They've really distanced themselves. They have put the pedal to the metal, I guess, so to speak.
So definitely have them in the rearview mirror, don't they? I mean, you're exactly right. Being able to string together these drives that end up in points, it's almost like a run in basketball to create that distance, and they're on a really big-time one right now.
It becomes contagious, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, because oftentimes it translates to your defense as well, because they're excited about getting the ball back for their offense that's playing so well.
Well, they are clicking right now.
Only needing 2 yards on 2nd down.
Get off the field.
A handoff as they run the counter play. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49.
And carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down.
Hey, Mike 20, Mike 20.
And to give this time to the tailback. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory right at the 40. Now a handoff here to his running back. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25.
They're making it look easy out there. Another 1st down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 1st downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. Right back to him on 1st down. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Slam, slam, slam. Tight dog, tight dog, tight dog.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And not much to speak of there. Maybe a yard. Down to the 20. The Dolphins on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 7.
Now here's a handoff out of the gun.
And he takes it down to the 13 and picks up the first.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
Watch twist. Watch twist. Shift. Watch the shift. Check 31. Check 31.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And power running here down to the 6-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A great play there with another touchdown, number 24 on the year. And the Dolphins are closing in on that 16-0 record as they add on to their lead. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead will swell by 1 more. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. KC's offense ready to take over. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side in this one.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off near the 29. And they're going to be set up in the red zone at the 15. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And, gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, and they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. And I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. And to give this time to the tailback. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. A great effort there with touchdown number 12 29, too short of LaDainian Tomlinson's all-time record 31. And the Dolphins use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6.
Well, they were looking to pick up the first down on 3rd and short. They got a little more than they bargained for, finding the end zone as well.
And oftentimes in short yardage situations, you get a lot of defenders stacked near the line of scrimmage, partner. So if you can get past that first wave, there's usually room to roll, and he found it.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that will extend this big lead.
And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. And Kansas City's offense now set and ready to go. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this 4th quarter.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Back to throw. James. Throw left side complete. That's Peters.
If he's their best threat on offense, use your #1 cover guy on defense. It doesn't matter about size.
They have had him locked up. That just his first catch of the game. Big reason why they're down. To throw is James. Throwing on 1st down. So the completion good for 6 yards. And it'll bring up a 2nd down. Again, he'll drop to throw. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size, can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down.
And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here, 2nd down. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll keep it on the ground. Gary. And he'll get this down close to a 1st down at about the Dolphins' 42. It's a gain of 6, moves him to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. Ball had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Here's the Chiefs punter now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field.
And they just continue to roll right along, really. This has the looks of yet another victory as they hope to polish it off here in quarter number 4. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line. Give them 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he roams across the 20 to the 24-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 7 on the play, and it sets up a 3rd and inches situation.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
And he'll give it here to his running back.
And he is going to have the Dolphins first down, at least at first glance, as he'll spot the football just beyond the marker. They find a way to convert on 3rd and inches.
This offense, #1 in the NFL in picking up first downs, and their run game got him another one there.
A really good stat to lead the league in, isn't it? Because if you keep picking up first downs, sustaining drives, that means you're controlling the football, controlling the clock, and letting your defense rest on the sidelines.
And to give this time to the tailback. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. So a victory here for the Miami Dolphins. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one, and that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for the Dolphins,
they're a win away now from running the table here in the regular season. They moved to 16-0 on the year.
so for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.